Blog Talk Radio.
Mi chiamo Afurakani, Afuraitkaitnit, Ineye, EGUA, Medinde Ojirafo, Kwesi, Ranehmpata, Akan. Akwamumai Maruka Etifi Mu Ojirafo, Ojiramai Mu. Greetings to all Afurakani, Afuraitkaitnit people, many Africans, black people. Today is EGUA Day, Marketplace Day. My name is Ojirafo, Kwesi, Ranehmpata, Akan. Ojirafo of the Akwamu Nation in North America. Within Ojiramai, the purified nation, Afurakani, Afuraitkaitnit people in the Western Hemisphere. Yet I say, once again, for tuning into the broadcast, we've opened up the chat room. If you have any questions or comments and you'd like to interact in the chat room, you must log in as a user in order to interact. If you don't have a username, you can sign up for one quickly in Blog Talk. If you'd like to ask questions on the phone line, simply hit the number 1 so that we can see that your hand is raised. For those who are new to the broadcast, we have 4 broadcasts on a weekly basis. We have Akanfo Nanasom, Ancient Authentic Akan Ancestral Religion, on Joda, Monday nights, where we deal specifically with the Akan expression of Nanasom Ancestral Religion. First and foremost, because we are Akan. Secondly, because of the misinformation being propagated regarding Akan culture, cosmology, ritual practice, and so forth, not only from individuals in the Western Hemisphere, but also from individuals on the continent of Afuraikai, who have been infected with pseudo-religions such as Christianity, Islam, Judaism, Hinduism, Buddhism, Brahmanism, and so forth, Taoism, and so forth, as well as white culture in general. Those infections have corrupted their presentation of Akan ancestral religion. So we deal with ancient, authentic Akan ancestral religion, which deals with our origins as Akan people from ancient Kanat, our ancestral origins from the Kan land, the first land, foremost land. Kanat is a title of ancient Nubia. Our people originated in that area. We migrated the western part of the continent after the fall of ancient Kemet in northern Kanit, ancient Egypt and northern Nubia and so forth. Some of our people migrated west, reestablished ourselves in the western part of the continent, reestablished the Akana civilization or Akan civilization, the empire of Ghana, a couple of thousand years ago. Hundreds of years later, because of Muslim invasion, some of our people migrated further south and reestablished ourselves in the Forest Belt region and the savanna regions of what is today's contemporary Cote d'Ivoire, Ivory Coast, and Republic of Ghana, and reestablished Akan civilization once again. Hundreds of years subsequent to that, some of our people were taken from those regions and forced into North, Central, South America, the Caribbean, and Europe during the Musuo Kessie, the Great Perversity, the enslavement era. However, we maintained our ancestral religious traditions, our practices upon that forced migration. Thus, Akan ancestral religion is called Winti in Suriname, amongst the Akan people in Suriname, in South America, from the Akan term Quinti. Akan ancestral religion is called Obia in Jamaica, from the Akan term Obai. Akan ancestral religion is called Hoodoo in North America, in the United States, from the Akan term Undu, which means medicine from roots, trees, plant life. We're talking about root work. It also means to become heavy with the spirit through spirit possession, spirit communication. You find these definitions in the language of ancient Kemet and Kanat as well in the Medutu, the hieroglyphs. The term Undu also means medicine from roots, trees, plant life. Undu also means to become heavy with the spirit through spirit possession, communication. Undu is also the term we use for the offerings placed on the shrine, given to the deities. We also find that Undu is also a title of ancient Nubia, and the people called the Undu people as well. So we maintained our ancestral religious practices. It is through the maintenance of our ancestral religious practices that we were empowered and guided by the Abosom, the forces in nature, the deities, as well as the Nananom Unsaman, for our spiritually cultivated ancestresses and ancestors, on the best means by which to wage war against the whites and their offspring, through taking up metal armaments, also waging chemical and biological warfare through root work, and so forth that established the precedent for chemical and biological warfare in the Western Hemisphere, waging physical warfare and chemical and biological warfare against the whites and their offspring, forcing them into the Hoodoo Wars, Gullah Wars, eventually the Civil War, and forcing the end of enslavement in the Western Hemisphere. So this is what we deal with on Akanfo Nanasom, Ancient Authentic Akan Ancestral Religion, on Joda on Monday nights. On Abinada Tuesday nights, we have Ojira, the Ojira broadcast. Ojira means purification. It also means to celebrate a ceremony of purification. That broadcast deals with ancestral religion in general, not just the Akan expression, but ancestral religion in general and how it impacts every aspect of our lives as Afurakani, Afuraitkaitnit people, no matter where we find ourselves in the world. Afurakani, Afuraitkaitnit, or African ancestral religion, no matter what form it takes, whether it's on the continent of Afuraitkait, Africa, or in the Western Hemisphere, in the forms such as Hoodoo, which is Akan, Juju, which is the Yoruba tradition in North America, Wanga, which is the Ovambo tradition in North America, Voodoo, which is the Ebe and Phone tradition in North America, and Gengan, which is the Fang tradition in North America, Grigri, which is the Mindi tradition in North America, and so forth, Bambara. No matter what form ancestral religion takes, in essence, it is defined as the ritual incorporation of divine law and the ritual restoration of divine balance. That means through ritual we incorporate those things, objects, deeds, and entities we need to incorporate in order to harmonize our thoughts, intentions, and actions with divine order. And through ritual, we reject those things, objects, deeds, and entities we need to reject in order to restore balance to our thoughts, intentions, and actions, and thus realign ourselves with divine order. So the ritual incorporation of divine law and the ritual restoration of divine balance, these are the expansive and contractive poles of ancestral religion. We state that Ojira, purification, operationalizes Nanasom. Purification operationalizes our practice of ritually incorporating law and ritually restoring balance in our lives. This is key to us executing our function in creation, our divine function in creation as Afurakani, Afuraitkaitnit people, as cells within the great divine body of the Supreme Being. Our way of life is Afurakani, Afuraitkaitnit people. Our culture, our amambre, our way of life, is the divine law or love of order and the divine hate or rejection of disorder, the divine acceptance, the law, love of order, the divine rejection, hatred of disorder and its purveyors. We seek to align every thought, intention, and action with divine order every moment of every day. When we make legitimate mistakes in the process, then we engage the ritual process to incorporate divine law and restore divine balance to our thoughts, intentions, and actions so that we can realign ourselves with divine order and continue to execute our function in creation while we're aligning every thought, every intention, every action with divine order every moment of every day. That is our way of life as Afurakani, Afuraitkaitnit people. This is how ancestral religion impacts every aspect of our lives. So on the Ojira broadcast, we deal with the purification of culture, purification of cosmology, purification of concepts, understanding of ancestral religious practice, cosmology, and so forth, and how it impacts every aspect of our lives. On Yauda, which is Thursday, also called Yadat Abada Thursday night, we have Amma and Sim, Affairs of the Nation. We deal with specific issues that are confronting us as an Oman, as a nation, specifically as Ojira Man, the purified Ojira Oman nation, Mine also meaning land of the west, the setting sun. Ojira Man means the purified nation, Afurakani, Afuraitkaitnit people in the Western Hemisphere. Those are our people who are forced into the Western Hemisphere, and we're descended from those who were forced into the Western Hemisphere, but we also maintained our ancestral religious practices and were empowered and guided by the deities and ancestral spirits of our blood circles to wage war against the whites and our offspring and force the end of enslavement. We are Ojira Man, the purified nation in the Western Hemisphere, because we were forced into the Western Hemisphere at some point, being guided by our ancestresses and ancestors and the Abosom, the divinities, the Orisha, the Vodou. In this region, we were directed to coalesce in a specific region of the Earth Mother's body in the Western Hemisphere. We were directed to blend ancestral blood circles in this region of the Western Hemisphere, drawing ancestresses and ancestors back through these specific clans. We learn to interface with the Earth Mother divinities in this region of their body. We learn to interface with the unique expression of the Abosom, the Orisha, the Vodou, the deities, the Ntoru in this region of the Earth Mother's body. We learn to integrate plant life, animal life, mineral life for food as well as medicine, also dealing with the sacred spirit animal totems in this region of the Earth Mother's body. That confluence of events allowed us to forge a locative identity, as we say, based on our coalescing and blending of ancestral blood circles in this region and interfacing with the forces in nature and taking that into our spirit bodies and so forth, forging a unique expression of Afurakani, Afuraitkaitnit culture, ancestral religion, and so forth. We understand that coalescing forged us into an Oman, a nation. And we understand an Oman, a nation, in the real sense, is a living, breathing entity. Just like an organ is a living, breathing entity governed by specific forces in creation, divinities, the cells are children of that organ. We are cells within a greater organal structure. That is what the Oman or nation is, and that Oman, that nation, is a living, breathing entity governed by specific Aboso, Mauritia, Vodou, and so forth. We are children of that organal structure. When we interface with one another harmoniously, we are also interfacing with that greater organ of which we are a component part, and the Abosom, the Orisha, the Vodou that govern activities within that organal structure. And when we align ourselves with that force in nature, those forces in nature that govern that organal structure, then we can operate as an Oman, as a nation in the real sense. So we deal with Amaniye, nationism, the purification of nationalism, rooted in a proper understanding of what a nation and Oman is, rooted in our ancestral religious values, a holistic understanding. So we approach our issues that confront us as an Oman, as an Afurakani, Afuraitkaitnit nation in a unique fashion, and address them properly. That's what we deal with on Amma Asaase affairs of the nation. Whatever is confronting us as an Oman, we address that so we can continue to build nation building in a harmonious sense. On Awukuda, Akuada, which is Wednesday night, tonight we have EGUA Marketplace, where we showcase Afurakani, Afuraitkaitnit businesses, organizations, and institutions, those who are serving the Afurakani, Afuraitkaitnit community in a positive capacity, those who maintain their ancestral religious values in the context of their service, and their ancestral religious values inform their service to the Afurakani, Afuraitkaitnit community. We also deal with the philosophical foundation of economic development rooted in our ancestral religious values. We have thus published our Okom economic development model, which is an approach to economic development which is holistic because it is rooted in our ancestral religious values. You can download that model for free from our website, of course. The operational component of that model is what we call starve the beast and feed the pride. That means you make an assessment on a weekly basis to determine what funds you would have potentially wasted with the whites and their offspring, and then you starve the beast and feed the pride. You reallocate those funds away from that business and direct them to the business, organization, or institution of the week. We target one Afurakani, Afuraitkaitnit business, organization, or institution per week for optimal capital infusion. Thus, when you reallocate $10 away from a white business like 7-Eleven or CVS or Walmart or some other business, starve the white beast and feed the black pride and so forth, and redirect that $10 to the black business of the week, then that's an infusion of $10 of capital transferred away from the whites and their offspring to one of our businesses. When 1,000 of our people who are engaged in the process, listening to the broadcast and on the same page, engage that process and redirect $10 away from a white business and direct it to the business of the week, that's a $10,000 infusion of capital into that black business, which allows them to hire from within the community full-time employees immediately and permanently. It allows them to expand their products and services to us so that we don't have to go outside of the community for those products and services. So it's a win-win situation, of course. If we do not starve the beast and feed the pride, then by default, we leave that $10,000 in the hands of our enemies, the whites and their offspring, and by default, we are financing our own oppression. So we must starve the beast and feed the pride on a consistent basis. This is the operational component of the OCOM economic development model. So this week, the business of the week is Asaase Heals, owned by Amma Asaase Agyei. And we want to bring our sister on. Hold on one second. Let me pull this up. Bichiawo. Amma, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Bichiawo.
That's up. So, first of all, we want to say, Yidase, thank you for coming on to the show. Once again, this is the second time Amma has come on to the show, and it's an honor for us to have Amma on the show. Asaase Heals is the business, but then Amma also has Akan Woman Jewelry as well, so we're going to get into all of that information. Amma has presented, we've been honored to have Amma present at our Hoodoo Hoodoo Nation Festival for all of the 3 years that we've had it. We have that annual festival in October. The Hoodoo Nation Festival deals with Hoodoo, which is the Akan ancestral religion in North America. Akan religion began in North America when Akan people were forced into North America. We continued our religious practices for over 300 years here in our blood circles, passed down intergenerationally and transcarnationally through successive reincarnations and so forth. Continue these ritual practices that includes root work, root medicine, and so forth, all these different things. So we brought Amma in, and she was gracious enough to accept our invitation and legitimize our little conference, our little festival, because of the great work that Amma is doing. One of the things that we want to talk about and want to start off talking about on the Asaase Heals website, and by the way, the Asaase Heals website is hoodooWomb.com, HOODOOWOMB.com, hoodooWomb.com. And what you will see is a number of different products on the website. We started off with the Hoodoo Nation Festival and bringing Amma in because of the medicines that Amma creates by going out into nature, listening to the Nsamafo and Abosom and creating medicines in the form of tinctures and so forth to heal various ailments, diseases, and so forth. So we want to get into that information, but yet I say thank you, Amma, once again for coming back onto the show. And let's just start off with, how did you first begin to, we want to start off with the medicines, and then we're going to get into the feminine cleansing care system, which is Happy Cat, which is a relatively new system that Amma put out, relatively new in the sense that it's been released, but she's been working on this for a number of years and perfecting it, and now it's been perfected and it's been released. So we want to start off with the medicines, the tinctures, and so forth. How did you first get involved with creating these medicines from plant life and mineral life and so forth? How did that process begin?
Hit that. Well, when I was small, that was a thing that my cousin and I used to do. We used to smash flowers and rub them on us. And, you know, when little kids talk about playing doctor, it's usually some kind of perverted stuff, but we would actually play doctor. You know, we would get different things from around the yard. And during those years in Southern California, there was a lot growing in the yard. So we would get thistles, flowers, anything that had some juice from it. I remember there was some white stuff we used to squeeze out of this really bitter tasting plant, and that was the medicine that we really had to take. So, you know, that playtime, supposedly playtime, was really an opening. And as I got older, I had planned to be a scientist. Somewhere along, I got deterred from that and became a pre-K teacher. But once I had children, the medicine making kind of kicked back in. Because if you have children and they get sick and you're black, you take them to the hospital every now and then, could be a red flag. So I started making my own medicines for the children and talking to my neighbors about it, helped some neighbors out. One neighbor in particular, I remember he had gout, and I fixed him up some stuff and suggested some diet changes. And in a couple of months, he was off his crutches. So that was in 2008. And ever since then, I've just been, seeing what else I can come up with.
Okay, and in fact, just looking at some of the medicines on the site, and people, once again, it's hoodoowomb.com, and this particular section is /medicines. So, for example, and you'll see all the different names of the medicines and so forth. So, for example, you'll see cold stop. So what does cold stop do? What is that tincture?
That's the one I use the most around the house. I'm not real good at coming up with names, so I call it cold stop because that's what I use it for. When the children, I notice them making that sound in their throats, or I notice them getting a little mucusy, or even myself, when I start feeling a little tickle in my throat, we use that formula. And it's pretty strong if you take it, especially if you take it right at the beginning, right when you feel cold, and you modify your diet with it. It literally stops it from setting in.
Okay. And then you also have calm heart. So what is the calm heart medicine for?
The calm heart is to help lower blood pressure. That one I have to selectively sell because people who have high blood pressure, usually they're already on something. And having high blood pressure is bad. Having too low blood pressure is also bad. So the calm heart lowers your blood pressure, but if a person's already taking blood pressure medicine, it could lower it too far. So that I have to, really grill people before I sell it to them. But that's what it's for.
Okay. And then you have, there's one of them, the Aya formula. What is the Aya formula for?
That's kind of like, I would compare it to a daily multivitamin. It's something to keep your immune system up and protect you, especially for, for people who, teachers working around a lot of children who carry a lot of germs, nurses who work in hospitals. It's just an immune booster.
And I wanted to point out some of those, just showing people what their utility is, but then I want to get into the process. So on the page you say Asaase Heals medicines are sold in tincture form. You'll see the bottles and so forth labeled on the site. They're created using very strong grain alcohol, distilled water, and plants, resins, herbs, etc. These are medicines, not suppressants. They work well when you work to use them well. So explain that for us, because I know sometimes people they don't always follow instructions. So when you're saying they work well when you work to use them well, what are you saying with that?
Well, most of us grew up in a culture where if you were sick, you take some Robitussin or I don't even know if people still take that or whatever in the spoon, and it's they call it medicine, but it's really a suppressant. So we don't take, medicine in this culture right now. We don't take medicine to heal us. We take medicine to suppress the symptoms of our sickness or suppress the symptoms of our disease. Now, when you're, and those medicines, quote-unquote medicines, are not made with natural ingredients for the most part. So you can't really fix, our bodies with that. In fact, I believe you on a broadcast made the comparison that when you're trying to fix a piece of wood, you have to add wood to it. So that's why we share so much in common with plants that we can fix ourselves with them. We don't have much in common with what they come up with in their lab. So those medicines, those OTC medicines, prescription drugs, they're not going to heal us, even though they might be successful at suppressing us, the symptoms. Now, when you're using herbal healing, it works best on a clean environment. Just like, when you're getting ready to clean or fix anything else, you clean it up first. I'm going to use your example again. If you're trying to fix the table leg with a piece of wood, it's not going to work if you got a table full of clutter. You got to clear that off. Same thing with our bodies. If we keep our bodies clean and then apply the medicine, it will work faster, it will work stronger, it will just work, period. But if you're going to use Cold Stop or the IF formula or Calm Heart, and then you're going to down a big bottle of Hawaiian Punch, it's not going to work.
Right, exactly, and that's very key for the healing process. So one of the reasons why initially we connected like that, and you first came out to Hoodoo Mind, the first Hoodoo Mind Festival, and the other two following and so forth, is because of the process that you undergo when you're crafting these medicines, and it's that hoodoo root work process. So we had done a broadcast previously on Nana Kwame Afurani, which is the honorific name that we use for George Washington Carver. And on one reason, because of the work he did and transformed, agriculture and as well as medicine, in this country and different around the world in reality. But the key was the process that he used, and people, of course, have heard about it, have some idea. He talked about, of course, having gone to university and things like that, but his process was very simple but also extremely powerful. He said that the reason why he was able to manufacture all these various hundreds of products from peanuts and sweet potatoes and so forth, because early in the morning, every morning, he would get up and go out into nature. He would communicate with the spirits in nature, plant life and mineral life and so forth, learn directly from them the properties of plant life and mineral life and so forth, and then he would go back into the lab and replicate what he learned from the spirits in nature. Now, people understand that, they have heard some rendering of that and have that understanding about, his process, and of course, the work that he did bears that out. But we wanted people to understand that that wasn't limited to Nana Kwame Afurani or other people in the past. We have people right now who are engaged in the same process to produce these medicines that are actually tangibly healing people on a consistent daily basis. And that's the similar kind of process that you engaged in, that you talked about. So if you can just take people through, in general, the process spiritually that you undergo when you're creating the medicines that you put forward.
Okay. One thing that I've realized over the years, and this was probably true for Nana Kwame, George Washington Carver, is that I'm very receptive. And when I say receptive, and there's lots of people like this, I'm realizing. When I say receptive, I mean I can get maybe feelings from living things. So that's why living in big cities is really uncomfortable for me. It feels really dead around me. I'm not getting messages. It feels really empty. But when I'm walking around in the woods, or when I was a little girl, we used to go to the canyons and mountains a lot in Los Angeles. That was really peaceful to me. It was very calming. It was very friendly. Rocks, they send messages, especially the sparkly kind and the shiny kind. They send messages. Trees send messages. Trees are really loud. Flowers are kind of sneaky with their messages. They send them too, but flowers can be deceptive. There's some really, really pretty flowers that are really, really poisonous. Grass, I don't get too much messages from grass unless it has like dandelions or mullein or blueberries. Blueberries and raspberries like to hide in the grass here. They send out messages. People, of course, send out lots of messages. So, those of us who are receptive, we get messages from living things, and, depending on what our function is, I suppose we use it in different ways. With the medicine, sometimes there's a place where I like to shop here, the co-op, and they have a very large herb section, and I used to like to go in there. This was before I actually started being active with making medicine. I used to like to go in there and just fill up bags of whatever, smell them, and decide what they were for just by the smell and by the look. And that's how I really got started. And, once I was more confident, I began to scrape things off of trees, pick things. I can grab up a whole bunch of whatever and make some tea. The children always know, my children, they always know because they'll ask me, Mom, is this a must drink? And the must drink is what they call the tea or smoothie that I come up with that they are not allowed to refuse. So they know when I get in a certain mood what I'm going to do. I sing songs, and I have a little statue that I like to look at and focus on of my Krawa, and that helps direct me. If somebody near me is ailing, usually I can get a very clear message on what exactly they need, as in the case with my neighbor. And that was just from me seeing him every morning walking to his vehicle using crutches. So, certain people are receptive like that, and when, we use what we get as our function.
Absolutely, and that's very key. So it's something, and of course it's not just the Hoodoo tradition, it's the various traditions that we've maintained in our blood circles, Hoodoo, Juju, Vodou, in the Western Hemisphere, that direct connection to the Aboson, which are the forces in nature, as we call them in Akan, the Nananoman Samafo, the spiritually cultivated ancestresses and ancestors of our blood circles that are also connected to plant life, animal life, mineral life, plant totems, animal totems, mineral totems, and so forth. That's directly connected to healing. Without that direct connection, at best, people are just memorizing formulas and putting things out based on their memorization, which may or may not, be effective. So
yeah, that's how
that's
they
the key
do
portion.
it. Yeah, that's how they do it. They Achiwadi, so that's how they do it. They do everything the same way they learn our dance steps. Like, if you ever seen those videos where they teaching white people how to dance hip hop? They're like,
Right.
1, 2, 3, step and grind and push. That's how they learn. Healing and medicines and stuff, and that's why they get stuff all mixed up.
Right. Exactly. So now, those are dealing with the medicines. Now you also have healing oils, body scrubs, and soaps. So we want to talk about some of those as well. I just want to pull that up real quick before we get to the Happy Cat piece. I just wanted to pull that up real quick. Hold on one second. And I'm just pulling up this section. Okay, so on this section on the hoodoowomb.com, and of course, everybody listening, the Asaase Heals, of course, hoodoowomb.com is the business of the week, the Okom Economic Development Model business of the week. Please go directly to hoodoowomb.com now and support the business. When you get to the body oils, hair oils, and bath enhancements or enchantment section, there are a number of different products: after bathing, skin conditioner, shampoo, body wash, and superior moisturizer combo. Superior moisturizer, liquid hair, body conditioner, Don't Touch My Hair. So, in fact, let's talk about some of those. What is the Don't Touch My Hair product?
Well, that's the name of it. Like I said, I'm really, really corny with coming up with names. But the name of it came to me because Agyei love to touch our hair. It's so annoying. But, that right there, I named it so because I'm saying it makes your hair so gorgeous, they're going to want to touch it, and that's what you got to tell them. But it's a small thing that you use after you shampoo. Some people have hair that has their follicles are still damaged because they, use perms for a certain amount of years, or they had braids too much and it weakened their hair. And that's just a rejuvenation cream. You use it for about a month after you shower, after you wash, when you lay down, and it makes your hair really, really soft, really, really healthy looking.
Okay. And then you also have the after bathing skin conditioner.
I think that's the one that I sell the most of. That seems to be the one that people really like. It's a really big jar, so that might be why. And you only need a little bit. But that's, after you take your bath and your body is really, really receptive to absorb things, you rub it in, you lay down, go to sleep, you wake up, you're beautiful, you're soft. It's made with a shea butter blend with different oils. The fragrances, I switch up the fragrances every now and then, but there's about 4 essential oil fragrances I use. It's got black castor oil in it, vitamin E, and vegetable extracts. So it works really, really well. It softens you up. This one brother who's a truck driver, he called me once. He had ordered some, and he asked me would it work on his feet. And he actually sent me a picture of his feet. But I said, yeah, but, you soak your feet for a long time, and then you put that on. And some people prefer to wrap their foot up with, plastic and then put on a sock to help hold in the moisture. So if you do that every night for a while, it can soften up even calluses.
Okay. And then you also have a line of natural soaps, and people can see the various soaps there. What are the kind of ingredients that you use for the natural soaps?
Okay, those are they're all glycerin, and some of them are oatmeal, but there's green clay in there. There's bentonite clay. And these aren't all in one soap. There's different things. I use calendula flowers, red sandalwood, different essential oils. Some of them have activated charcoal in them, and they're really, really good. They last a long time, and they're aesthetically pleasing. They're nice to have around. When I was growing up, my mom and my grandma, they always had soap in a dish that we weren't allowed to touch. But, these, they look nice, and you use them. So they're like gourmet soap.
Okay. And you also, there's another piece. So you have the aromatherapeutic ultra moisturizing body scrubs. So,
yes.
For instance, the hibiscus heaven and the black love. So, talk a little bit about those body scrubs.
Okay, hibiscus heaven. I'm actually going to have to modify it because a couple of sisters said that they, weren't too keen on having flower petals going down their showers. But it's got hibiscus flowers in it, and it's usually made with crushed salt. Sometimes it's pink salt. Sometimes it's sea salt. Sometimes it's made with sugar. But the hibiscus and the essential oils and it's made with grapeseed, coconut oil, and olive oil. And then it's got a special blend that really, really moisturizes your body. And when I use the scrubs myself, it makes me feel really, really special in the shower. It makes me really soft, and when I get out, I don't have to put any oil on because I'm already clean and moisturized. I smell really good, and it lasts for a long time.
Okay. And then and when people look at the site, they'll also see, the different ones, the frankincense seeds and the black love and so forth. And you also had warming massage oil, the EGUA oil. That's one of them. So
yes.
If you talk a little bit about the EGUA oil.
Yes. EGUA oil is named after a very special little girl. And that oil recipe was used to make her very comfortable and safe. And it's in a very special bottle because it's probably the most special product here for me. It's kind of red because it's got a lot of chili pepper in it. That's the warming part. And then it's got a nice sensual scent. It's very comforting. So it's a massage oil. You can massage yourself, massage, your friends. And, I don't really know how that would work with guys. That don't really seem right. But women, I think it's a good thing, for womb massage. Women rubbing each other like that is, I don't know. But it's very comforting and it's warming, and it just gives you a very, very safe feeling.
Okay. And speaking of the womb portion, we want to move into that. Also, you'll also see people on the page. You'll also see the shampoo, body wash, and superior moisturizer combo as well. So all of these different products are on the tab, the healing oils, body scrubs, and soaps. So we want to get into, and you also have baby products as well, and we're going to get into that, but we want to get into one of the more recent innovative products that you put forward. It's a major product, very important, and that is Happy Cat. And when people click on the tab, it says Happy Cat and Womb Health. So we're going to click on that tab right quick. And so it's a major feminine cleansing care system. So what is Happy Cat? What does that mean? And what is the feminine cleansing care system?
Okay. Happy Cat is so-called because of the name in Kemet, which means vulva or vagina. There's other words too, twat and stuff like that, but I think Happy Quat didn't sound so right. So Happy Cat is what it got called, and the happy is pretty self-explanatory. But when I first created it, it was in 08 or 09, there was just one part to it, and that worked pretty well, but then, I started realizing that it needs to keep going. It's not just like a treatment that you do, which is when the gynecologists and doctors, when they say you need to heal, a problem you might have with your cat, that's what they do, Take this cream and shove it up your cat for a week and then you're healed. Or, take this dish and use it for a week and you're healed. So, I began to explore different things, and my Okara wouldn't let me let it go. When I thought it was finished, she wouldn't let me let it go. And, she brought it to me that this is something that's so important to women, to young women, to females, period. So, as you see, I have the Duase symbol, and I modified it with the cat. But I use Duase, which is the Adinkra, and it symbolizes a comb, a wooden comb, which symbolizes grooming, which, if you just say grooming, it just sounds really simple. But for a woman, grooming and cleanliness is, extremely important. When a woman is groomed and feeling clean, especially in her vaginal area, it makes us feel better, more confident. It makes us more picky about who we accept into that area, it makes us better women. And if we're better women, we're better mothers, et cetera, et cetera. And when mama's happy and confident, children are happy and confident, husband's well taken care of, it just keeps going on and on. And, we have a culture here where that's our private area, that's our pocketbook, which is all true. In fact, speaking about such matters, to me, it feels, a little taboo, but it feels necessary to break that taboo. And I don't mean just speaking about it amongst women. I don't think that's taboo, but speaking about it out in the open like I do on Facebook or anything, in a normal, healthy society, I wouldn't be doing this. But when we're trying to repair everything with order, sometimes it's necessary. So, there's all kinds of, I'm a fan of Proverbs, so there's all kinds of things out there. There's one that says, when a woman is not singing, she's not working much either. That's an Egyptian proverb. And if you pay attention to it, when a woman's not singing, she's not working much either. When a woman's singing and, dancing around, she's feeling good. She's productive. So if she's not feeling good, she's not productive, she's not going to be, much of a mother, much of a woman at all. There's also a proverb from Uganda that says, a man dies in the open, a woman dies indoors. And, that also is very telling. Women, we carry our pain around as women usually absorbed in our womb. We have the strong black woman mantra to live up to. We ain't crying over no niggas, all that kind of stuff. So we have a lot of stuff that we absorb. Black children, period, boys and girls, are, prone to being abused, not only by their sick parents, but by, the white people that their parents think are so good for them. Black boys are abused as much as black girls. I firmly believe that. But once we enter into adulthood, it's the women that keep getting persecuted, but, it's normal society. It's stressful for a woman if she doesn't look right to herself and to her peers. It's stressful for a woman if she doesn't feel right. If you start a rumor that a woman's cat smells like fish, that's it. She's done, A man, if he has money, he can get some women. He can be okay. It doesn't matter if his grill is tore up or whatever. But a woman, her appearance is almost everything. The way she feels about herself is almost everything. So when we feel good, we do better. We don't have as much, in our wounds. Women are also discouraged, and I don't mean discouraged as in, no, don't do that. We're discouraged from even looking at ourselves. There's a lot of women who, honestly, I don't even think they've seen their cat. There's no taboo against getting the mirror and looking down there so you can see everything you have down there. I encourage men to do that also. You might have some mole. How many moles you got on your penis? You don't know because you never inspected it. So there's a lot that we are unfamiliar with about ourselves because we don't take time to explore the most, I'm not going to say the most important part of our body, but certainly with the most power for production. Now, women, in contrast to men, we have two holes. Men have, actually three, okay? Men have two holes for releasing waste. They have, the anus and the rectum for releasing solid waste, and they have their urethra and their penis for releasing liquid waste. Females, women, we have three. We have a urethra where we release liquid waste, and we also have an anus where we release solid waste. But we also have an opening into our womb. You have the womb, you have the cervix, you have the vagina. We have waste from our womb. We have, sometimes we have stress that comes out. the tiredness of the day, pollution. Every month or so, we bleed and we shed, the lining of the uterus. So that, the vagina it's a multifunctional hole. Things go in, things come out, but gynecologists, they spread this notion that vaginal discharge is normal, it's okay, a certain smell is okay, but one of the challenges I have with Happy Cat is convincing women that this is not okay, that discharge coming out of your vagina is waste, it's womb waste, and it needs to be cleaned out. We clean all the other orifices of our body. We make sure everything is cleaned out real good. When you wake up in the morning, you make sure you clean out your mouth real well. You get your ears gunked up, you clean that out. But we have this wide entrance right there with waste dripping out, and we're told not to wash it out. So I found a little while ago, some articles. This thing has been going on, since forever. I found some articles about quote-unquote ancient Egypt. They said they used to use garlic and wine. And then they have the quote-unquote medieval times, which is sold for white people in Europe. And the 18th century, 19th century, these have the position with Lysol. They even had advertisements about how to clean your cat with Lysol. So, when they promote it, it's all about, just general freshness because they don't want to smell, which they got to smell anyway. They can dish all they want to. They can pour bleach all over. They still gonna stink. But, it's general cleanliness. And, Happy Cat has generated the most feedback of any of my products. My inbox, if anybody's going to inbox me about any of my products, it's always Happy Cat. And that's because there's a stigma, there's a culture. Everything about what I'm saying just seems so wrong. But I think I've sold maybe 12 kits. Happy Cat is a very, very tough sale. It's a very tough sale. First of all, it's expensive. And anytime you get over $20 to black folks, that's expensive. But Happy Cat is very expensive to make. It's got aloe vera, frankincense, saffron, which saffron is expensive as I don't know what. It's got all these different things in it. And, I'm grinding that stuff up and putting it in there. But it has to sit for a while. And when I say witch hazel, a lot of sisters are put off by that because they're thinking the witch hazel that you get at the store in the pharmacy, and I'm not talking about that. It's not the witch hazel. I mean the bark and the leaves. The actual, they didn't, a lot of sisters didn't know witch hazel is actually a tree. And then the sisters want to know, which YouTube video did you watch to come up with this? I'm like, I didn't get it from YouTube. I got it from my Accra. And some of them think I'm just nuts. So, it's a really, really, it's an uphill battle. But I will say that everyone, literally everyone, 100% of the women who have used Happy Cat have left really, really good reviews. It really makes you feel good. There's a confidence and a security that comes with just knowing. I mean, at the end of the day, and this might sound, a little off-putting to some of the men in the audience, but at the end of the day, you want your panties to be clear. And, a lot of women, when you start using Happy Cat, that's the thing you notice. I'm fresh. I'm clean. There's nothing going on that makes me embarrassed. There's never a time where I might be feeling unfresh. There's never any jeans that I'm wearing that have an unfresh feeling. And there's a lot that goes with that. It boosts, it changes your whole life, honestly. And it gives you a confidence. But, aside from the challenge of convincing women that it's a good thing to do, it's also convincing them to do it regularly. Because washing out your cat on a daily basis seems really, really bad. But, I've been doing it, since 2009 is about when I started doing it every day. And, it's awesome. It's great. everybody knows that. Well, no, everybody doesn't know. The inside of your cat, your vagina, is a muscular structure, and they have these exercises they've named after this cracker Kegel, which would work, but ain't nobody gonna be doing Kegels every day, like that. When you're using Happy Cat, you're automatically doing a quote-unquote Kegel every day. So, I mean, it makes your cat really, really strong, really strong. You're cleaning out the waste, the daily waste from your womb, and then you're feeling good about yourself, so there's less daily waste. And when you get into a rhythm of doing it every day, when you miss a day, you actually feel like, oh, my God, I didn't brush my teeth. Oh, my God, I didn't do my Happy Cat, So it becomes, part of what you do. One sister was like, so we have to get it from you every day, every time? And I was like, that's your choice, but the complete kit is it's $110, but it lasts, 2 months or a little over, depending on how much you use. So, it lasts for a long time. And then, the refill is less than half of that. So you keep it going on, and, maybe somebody else will be inspired to also come up with a formula. But it is necessary, just as necessary as it is to clean your mouth, just as necessary it is to clean the inside of your ears, or wash your ass. You got to clean the cat. And we have to get back to that being a normal thing. We're trying to normalize it.
We really appreciate that. In fact, when people look on the site and they look at the part of the definition, you mentioned no more yeast infections, bacterial vaginosis, musky or fishy odors, and no more looking into your panties trying to identify what type of discharge that may be. And you're talking about a system, and I want to go through the parts of the system. It's a full system with a deep cleaner, water bottle kit, maintainer of the box, residue-removing wipes, refreshing spritz, all these different things. When you mentioned, which is very key, number one, because it's a system and all these different parts of the system come inside of the box and so forth, as well as the instructions, it lasts for over 60 days. So even though it's a $110, kit, it lasts for over 60 days. So that's basically a little bit less than $2 per day that you're spending cleansing yourself to avoid or overcome yeast infections, bacterial vaginosis, or discharges and so forth. $2 a day, that's something people spend $2 a day on, Arizona iced tea or lottery tickets or cigarettes or, honey buns or whatever it is. But $2 a day is, very inexpensive. And then when you talked about after the first 60 days, the refill kit is about half the cost. So then you have less than $1 a day. So for the first 60 days, it's less than $2 a day to clean yourself and protect yourself and so forth. And then after the first 60 days, it's about $1 per day, which our people are actually already spending. But when we starve the beast and feed the pride, we can deal with that. But one other piece you talked about is you started the process even yourself going back to like '08. And you also talked about how everyone who has utilized the product, utilized the system, the cleansing care system, Happy Cat, always 100% positive reviews and so forth. Even people who've had bacterial vaginosis or yeast infections and so forth, discharges, they've been able to overcome that. You gave a specific experience you had with a physician when they checked you out after you've been using Happy Cat for a number of years. So what was that specific experience that people need to know when they examined you? What did they say?
Oh, yeah. This was about a couple of years ago. I wanted to see if I had any damage from a birth control device. I had an IUD, a copper IUD, and when I had an intrauterine device, a copper intrauterine device is a piece of copper that's literally stuck up into the uterus, and the copper creates some kind of force field that's supposed to make you not get pregnant for 10 years. But the copper had no chance with me because apparently I just attract the ancestors, like, whatever. So I had to have the IUD surgically removed because I was pregnant anyway. And I was maybe starting a new relationship, so I wanted to have another one put in maybe, but I wanted to check and see if any damage had been done from the last one. So I went to a gynecologist, in a local one. It was a sister here, and she had another sister with her, a HBCU student that was observing, as her internship, her residency, I'm not sure what they call it. So, I'm laying on the table, and most women know when you go to the gynecologist, even if it's a sister that's gynecologizing you, it's not the most comfortable thing. They usually put like a serene picture at the top, so you're supposed to look at the picture or whatever and hum and take your mind off of it. So I'm laying up here with my legs spread and, all my ominous out in there, and she's got her head down there, and she's mumbling to herself, and and then she calls the girl over there, the student, to come look. And I'm laying there on the table like, what are y'all doing? What do you mean? What? What's wrong? What is it? And she said, well, how many children did you say you had? So I told her. And she said they were all vaginal births. I said, yes. I had 7 children, all of them vaginal births. She said, well, I don't see any scars from childbirth. It looks new in here. She said, it looks new. It looks like you've never had any children. And I laid back down. I was like, oh, shoot. I said, that's Happy Cat. She said, what? So I told her about, the system and, how I use it and everything. And, she looked at me a little weird for a little bit, and she said, well, we don't recommend that, but I can't argue with results. So, I don't know if I would have gotten an admission like that from anyone but a sister, but, sad to say that I felt rejuvenated after that, co-assignment by a professional, because I pride myself on not caring what they think, but I obviously did because, that made me feel a little better about it. But, she reacted favorably. She didn't try to buy any, though.
Right. But that's a critical piece to this whole process, because like on the website you say, forget Kegels, drop your yoni eggs and leave that summer's eve on the shelf. No more yeast infections, bacterial vaginosis, muscular fishy odors, and no more looking into your panties for discharge and so forth. When you have a physician, inspecting you, and you've been using Happy Cat for a number of years, and they say, well, as far as they know, as far as they can see, it looks as though you've never had any children. It looks pure in there. And you're like, actually, I've had 7. And that just floors them. But that's the proof. After years of using the system, it's absolute proof. Of course, and then you have the comments and the reviews from the people who've used the system as well. So that's just a confirmation. That's something that's very critical that people need to know. You have actual tangible evidence of the purificatory nature and the healing nature of the system itself. So in the system you have the deep cleaner, the water bottle kit, the residue removing wipes, the refreshing spritz. So what are the functions of those different components of the system?
Okay, the water bottle is where you actually put the fluid, and water is the main ingredient for anything. It's the main ingredient for your bath. It's the main ingredient when you're brushing your teeth, either water or saliva. So it's the main ingredient in Happy Cat as well. You use 1 capful of what I've named the maintainer, which is the main liquid that makes Happy Cat. So you use a capful of maintainer, and you put it in the water bottle. It's a 2-quart water bottle. You fill it up with really warm water. You can use distilled water. It doesn't really matter. As long as you don't have, really nasty water coming out of your sink, it's fine. But you use really warm water, not hot. And you cleanse yourself every night or every morning. I do it 2 or 3 times a day. Just sometimes, after I've been outside for a while, if I swim in a chlorine pool, if I was outside walking around, I got sweaty between my thighs, I'm always happy catting. But that's what the water bottle and maintainer are. The deep cleaner is a 1 ounce bottle, and it's full of 100% essential oils, and it's an essential oil blend. It has 5 different essential oils, and the deep cleaner is what will rid you quickly of any yeast infections. So some people, they want to start with the deep cleaner and then move on to the maintainer. But if you don't really have any infections, that's something you can put on the shelf and save, for if something happens, or you can use it when you want a little extra punch. Refreshing Spritz is a watered-down version of the maintainer with some of the deep cleaner in it. I really, really hate using toilet paper. Before I used Happy Cat, when I used the restroom, I used to squeeze a wet rag over me or pour a cup of water. I hate toilet paper. So the Refreshing Spritz is, after you use the restroom, you can spray that on there, keep your legs spread for about 30 seconds, let it dry off, and then, get on up. Or you can use the residue removing wipes instead of toilet paper. I like those a lot because they don't leave any cotton pieces behind. There's 2 Refreshing Spritz bottles, one to stay in the Happy Cat box and one to keep in your purse. So, everything needs to be shaken up really well before you use it because, it is a natural product, so things settle and separate. But everything needs to be shaken up really well. But when you're doing all that all day long, it sounds like a lot of work, but it actually becomes something that you just incorporate. Go to sleep at night, do my Happy Cat. Put my Refreshing Spritz in my purse. If I use the bathroom, I use these wipes. I don't use toilet paper. I use this spray. I don't use toilet paper. It becomes a habit. Just everything you do is clean. You stay clean. I use the residue removing wipes sometimes, in between my thighs, like on the side where the lips of the vagina hit the thigh, where you get real sweaty when you're out. It's just all about just keeping fresh, because when a woman is not fresh right there, it's always in the back of her mind. She's really careful, But the actual box weighs about it's about 8 pounds. So it's it's a big box. It's heavy. It's decorated. It feels special. It's your own little thing. And every woman that's gotten it has liked it a lot. It comes with an instructional booklet with a full diagram of cat vagina, and really, really easy to follow directions. It's called the Happy Cat Circle of Sisters, the instructional booklet, because once you start it, you do join the Circle of Sisters. I mean, it's because it's only us who use it can describe exactly how it feels.
And absolutely, and people, when you look on the site, you will see the decorated box, and you're saying it's a decorated wooden keepsake box. So this is and you talk about it's 8 pounds, about 8 pounds. This is something not only that you maintain yourself, but can be given to your daughter. It's a keepsake box. It's actually an ornate, container. It's not just a piece of plastic, and you kind of designed it that way so it can be something that's held to a higher regard. Correct?
Yes. I'm all about women feeling special. I remember there was this little girl named Carly. I used to go to her mom's house for after-school care, and Carly was the only girl, and she had like this really, really ornate vanity mirror in her room with a carved frame, and she had this carved wooden brush and comb and everything, and Carly was always really, really, she was pampered but not spoiled, and I liked that. So, I like things like that. I like things that feel special. I like wood especially. Wood, to me, solid wood, not particle wood, but solid wood, it shows richness and sturdiness. It's all about everything I have. I told the sister the other day, I'm selling feel good. I'm selling feel good to people, sisters especially with the happy cat. I'm just selling feel good because when we feel good, clean, fresh, soft, we're better people.
Absolutely, and at the same time, the reason it's feeling good is because it's actually healing and, getting rid of these infections and so forth, certain things that these over-the-counter medications typically cannot address, or they will suppress, as you said, or even exacerbate. You're actually healing people at the same time. So we want to open up the phone lines for questions. Hit the number 1 if you have a question for Amma. Go to the HoodooWomb.com website, purchase the medicines, the healing tinctures, the bath and body products, the Happy Cat system. Once again, we said that the Happy Cat system, the wood box with all of the different components, even though, up front saying $110, it seems like it's a lot, but lasting for 60 days, basically $2 per day. And, of course, we spend that on things that are not necessarily the best for us on a regular basis, whether it's coffee or whatever it is. So, but then she also has the tinctures, the medicines and different things, the bath and body products, shampoos, body washes, soaps, all these various things. Go to HoodooWomb.com and make your purchase now. Starve the beast and feed the pride. We're going to take, we have a phone call. Ichiro on the phone line, number 2081.
Yeah, Jiro, hello, Kwesi. Can you hear me?
What's up?
Yeah.
Yes.
And hello, sister Amma. Your website. Did you share this link on your page, Kwesi? I might want to share this because I think this is needed. And the products you sell, Miss.
It's in the event notification. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, because I was looking at how you explain how it works and how these people that in the practice a medical field, said they're surprised how you keep yourself clean. But it goes back to their inferiority of how to deal with actual healing. They don't heal people. They only patch up and keep the symptoms going until the symptoms take over the body and the body cease to non-function. So for them to find out that you keep your room clean, it's testament that, most people must understand that you're not going to get no healing from the institutions. And one thing as a woman, the most essential besides your health, you have to keep that area as healthy as possible. Because a lot of what issues women have, like with the fibroids and all these things, all that could be, eliminated just by keeping doing simple things. I'm not sure if I'm clear in my response.
I agree with you.
And yeah, go ahead. Listen.
Yeah, I agree with you. Fibroids are a big, big problem for black women. White women don't really have fibroid issues like black women do, and that's a whole nother bag of worms. Relaxers have been linked to fibroids. Definitely stress. It's really, really stressful just being a black woman, and then you have, all this other stuff going on, pollution and things. Also, black women are more likely to be recommended for hysterectomies than any other race. When you remove the womb from a woman, that is, we're taught, in this culture that wombs are just baby carriers. That's it. But the womb is the seat for women's emotions, powers, everything. After a woman goes through menopause, that's when her womb enters into the real powerful phase, the really powerful phase. And our wombs are, emotional centers. They're psychic centers. That's where our intuition comes from. They call it a gut feeling. Men have their prostate, and they also get their gut feelings and instincts, that zeroed in right there. But black women have 3 times mortality rate, 3 times more mortality rate if they go into the hospital for some kind of womb or vaginal issue. They're killing us. I mean, they are killing us, literally. They don't get the proper care because you're a black woman. They just, they're not going to care for you. They're going to recommend hysterectomy right off the bat. Most black women are, most people, period, are enamored with the power of somebody with the title doctor. So when the doctor, almighty, tells you that you need a hysterectomy, most of them are going to say yes, sir, and go get it. Most of them are not going to get a second or third opinion. So, yeah, you're right. The fibroids, are all connected. Stress, fibroids, all of that. It's all connected.
And one thing, since you mentioned about the immortality rate, I hear now most women now that's black are also now, they're more likely to say that are going, what's it called, transition if they give birth. I think there was some article talking about if black women more likely, like in this propaganda scheme, trying to tell them it's better off they don't get pregnant at all now, because most likely they will die carrying a baby or delivering a baby. One of these whites are pushing out.
Yeah, a lot of black women die in childbirth. A lot of black women are misdiagnosed with the necessity of a C-section. They do crazy things. I've seen black women crying because a doctor used a forceps, which is like barbecue tongs, and pulled the baby out and messed up the baby's head. I had one young boy in my care. His circumcision was messed up. It was botched so bad. He used to cry every time I would send him to the potty. He was just turned 2. He used to cry every time I sent him to the potty. This is at pre-K. And I finally went in there with him because I realized his crying wasn't just, I don't want to go pee. So I went in there with him and I sat him on the toilet because some little boys, they're not comfortable with the standing up and, urinating yet. So I sat him on the toilet. And when I was down there trying to get him calm so he wouldn't cry, I looked down and this boy had urine coming out of 2 separate holes in his penis. So, during that time I called his mom and she said, yeah, they messed up his circumcision. He's supposed to be going to have surgery for it soon. So, they're doing all kind of stuff. There was an article before, this one baby was completely, it's not castration when they cut off the penis, because it's castration when they cut off the testicles, if I'm not sure. If I'm not, I don't know.
You mean back in 2003? The one in, I think it's Memphis, the black lady where her child was wrapped up and it was crying on it, and when they opened it, it was pure blood?
Yeah, they cut the baby's penis off.
Yeah, they cut it off, yes.
Yeah, they do us wrong in hospitals. They do us wrong. And even thinking about that, it makes me so upset inside. So, we have to do whatever we can to stay out of hospitals. And the best way we can do that is just to stay healthy, period.
And one last question before we go. You're familiar with the shot called Rogaine? RHOGAM?
I don't know about that.
Okay. All right. Well, that's all. All right. Well, thank you.
Hey, are you going to tell me what it is?
All right. If anybody's online, okay. Rogaine is a shot. Are you okay? Hold on. Let me read it because I did something on this. It is somewhat of a HDM cause that will antibody that destroys your baby's red blood cells. It's only administered to Rh negative.
Oh, yes, I know what you're talking about. I didn't understand it the way you said it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I kind of sped up the wording because when you pronounce it's kind of different from what it's given. Yeah. One thing I find most of them they talk about even some of that engage in miscegenation with another race that they start administering these type of shots in the past 50 years. After certain things has happened in this country, and one of them is I'm not sure it's one that leads to most women not able to carry children from another race of man more easier. Cause I heard stories that back in the day, usually male and sister black women, it was hard to get them pregnant from another race of man, but because of what we've gone through for 100 years, that probably has changed, even to the point now that they create these type of, I guess, shots to make, they're pushing things now to our people that they're not aware of. Yeah, so that's why I kind of asked the question.
Yeah, they try to do that, but they can burn us, but we will not burn.
Mm-hmm. All right, Ojiofo, thank you again, and thank you again. And I will share this on my page so people know. That's it.
Okay, I say that we appreciate the call, and we also want to touch on so in addition to that, and people, when you see the site Hoodoo Womb on the Happy Cat section at the bottom of the page, you'll see the complete kit includes the deep cleaner, refreshing spritz times 2, 2 of them, maintainer, residue removing wipes, instructional booklet, application pouch, tube and pipe, special gift from Amma. You also get a special gift from Amma inside the box, and of course the wooden keepsake box, so that's the entire system. You see that information there. Quickly on the section dealing with, you also have dolls that you make, medicine dolls and so forth, mood pillows. You also have the section, touch on quickly the products for babies. You have the Asaase Heals body pain and fever healing medicine for babies. You also have the Asaase Heals hair and body wash for baby and flower oil for baby. You have the Asaase Heals body wipes for baby. So, and then you also have gift sets for that as well. So people need to see those. What prompted you to put together that line for babies?
Well, I like to make the stuff for my own babies, and I thought other mothers would appreciate some handmade, stuff that they didn't have to read the ingredients and wonder what the heck is that, So, the baby flower oil, it takes a few weeks to make that, but it's really, really nice. And then the baby wash is really gentle on it. And the stuff, it lasts a really long time because you don't have to use a lot for babies. So they come in the big 16-ounce bottles. I thought Mom would appreciate that too because, babies are expensive. So you get one set of this and, it can last a few months for your baby.
Absolutely. So we got another call on the phone line. The PLO on the phone line, number 3558. You had a question or a comment?
Yes, hello, good night, Hatep.
What's up?
Hatep.
Yeah. Sister, I just had a question for you. Talking about womb health and the reproductive organ health. Have you ever heard of the reproductive organs being linked to heart health?
Yes, everything.
Could you explain that? Because not recently, a couple of years ago, my uncle was sick. He was in Jamaica. He was sick. And they kept saying he had a heart condition, right? And he was sick for many years with this heart condition, and he was in and out of the hospital. Long story short, before he died, and this is what he died of, they found out that he had prostate cancer. And shortly after that, after he died, I was hearing that there's a link between reproductive health and heart health. So if you could just shed some light on that.
Well, honestly, any of the systems in your body like that, you can link them all. If you have stomach issues, it can affect your pancreas, your liver, your kidneys, your digestive system. All of it's linked. Your heart especially is linked to everything. Sometimes we have body stress that we're not really registering. You ever thought you forgot something when you left the house, but you really didn't forget it, but for a moment you had anxiety?
Right.
Okay, sometimes you feel it at the same time in your gut and your heart, like your heart skips a beat.
Right, exactly right.
Okay, so I don't, I'm not good at medical literature, but I just know that some things are connected like that. Just by observing myself and other people.
Right.
Like yesterday, my brakes went out on my vehicle, and I didn't have any brakes. And I can tell you certainly, my womb was like achy and throbbing, and my heart was moving too. So yeah, there's a connection. I don't know what to label the connection, but I just know that yes, that's true.
Right. And before I go, actually, could you tell me? I'm on your site now. And this herb pillow. What is this about? The herb pillow.
Okay, herb pillows and dolls. I haven't been advertising those because I haven't made any in a while. But basically, the herb pillows are either small or large pillows, and they're infused with herbs and oils to achieve a certain state of mind. There's some herb pillows that, and they're not available yet. I don't have them up there yet. There's some herb pillows that have things to help with your memory, and they have a little slot where you can put a picture of your ancestors or ancestor, or putting a picture under your pillow and bouncing your head on the pillow and thinking about that before you go to sleep helps, direct where you're going to go when you fall asleep. So the herb pillows are meant to enhance that power. Some herb pillows are just to help people go to sleep. Some herb pillows people might want to keep, in their child's room to help keep away certain entities that they feel are around the house. So, that's what those are. I just don't have to be on the site.
Right. And you're going to start up with that again sometime soon.
Yeah, I'm going to start out with that in April.
Okay, sounds good. Do you deliver internationally?
Yes. Depending on some places, like Suriname, are super expensive to deliver to, so I try to, make a deal. But yeah, international deliveries I do that.
Right. Okay, I'm just across the border. I'm in Canada.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's not expensive.
Right. Okay, thank you for the information. It was very informative. And
oh, you're welcome.
All right, thank you, sis.
All right, hit that, please.
Okay. Now, we appreciate that call. And the sister was talking about when you look on the site, you'll see the section that says Dadim dolls, they name dolls, and mood pillows. And when you go to that section, you'll see it says dolls and herb pillows. So that's what the sister was talking about. And briefly, talking about the hand-sewn dolls, what is the function of the dolls that you're making?
Well, sometimes people just want a doll for a child in their life. Some people want a doll specifically for them. The plan is to have, all dolls specifically tailored to a person. So in April, I'm going to have up different cloths and stuff for the different dolls. But I never make a doll until it's ordered. So each doll is extremely personalized. And, unless the person directs me exactly what they want, I usually go by what energy I'm getting off of them. And I fill the doll up with herbs accordingly and the jewelry accordingly. The first two dolls that I came were Amma and Asaase, and those dolls, they were really, really, they came easy, and they were really easy to personalize. Every doll was different. Every doll had different jewelry. Every doll they had the same fabric, but it was sewn differently. So they're really personalized dolls, and they take a couple of weeks to make, but it's really worth it. So I'll start that back up in April.
Okay, and people can see the Amma and Asaase dolls there on the page. So on one hand, people sometimes just want the dolls, but they're also connected to ritual as well. That's same expression of, just like we have our Kuaba dolls, so-called fertility dolls in our Khan culture, and that goes back to the Ankh and Ancient Kemet, same format, but then we continued that practice. The Hoodoo doll baby in Hoodoo, Akan ancestral religion in North America, this is another expression of that ritual practice. So we wanted to touch on that as well. So, and then there's one more piece, which is separate from this website, but you have the Akan woman handmade jewelry, and you have that that's on the Etsy site, correct?
Yes. Yes.
And what is the link for the Etsy site?
Etsy.com/shop/Akan-woman.
Okay, so Etsy.com/shop/Akan-woman. And we can put that link in the chat room right quick. And so just briefly, what kind of the different products that you have posted on that site, on that Etsy site?
That's more about outward comfortability instead of inside. That's why I made it a different site. I like jewelry. I like my jewelry to look different than everyone else's. And, I like my culture and my religion, so I decided to put it out there for anyone else who might like it. There's a Dinkra earring and other cultural earrings. There are clocks. There's a necklace and earring set, I believe. And I just put up some rings. I made a whole bunch of rings. So, I just add stuff. When I make something, I add it up there. It's like my hobby site. But the jewelry is all original. It's very, very interesting looking. I do customize some pieces, according to what color a person might want or what a Dinkra symbol they might want. I do all the Dinkra symbols, even though there's only there might only be 20 of them shown. The ring, I'm wearing a ring right now that's Hennetsiye, and she has a really captivating, face. So I put that on the ring. Several Dinkra symbols, so people can customize. And if anybody ever has a question about, anything, they can always just email me and ask me, and I usually, will try to accommodate whatever style they want.
Okay, and when people see, when you go to the site, you'll see a number of different, you see the various Dinkra symbols and the proverbs associated with them. So you're wearing these forms, these cultural transmissions, informing yourself, but also informing the community. That's healing in and of itself, just to see those geometric forms, learn what the proverbial wisdom is associated with them. That's your walking, library in that sense. So those are healing as well as, beautification as well. And, of course, beautification is healing also. So so many different products, so many different, methods and pathways to healing coming from your site. So we really appreciate you coming on. It's about 10:30 now, so we're going to there's one question in the chat room. It says, can Happy Cat be used while pregnant?
I like to tell people no, because I don't want to be I can't be there with them. I've used it throughout my pregnancy, but, it comes with a very long hose, and the reason for that, instead of the douche like people sell in the store where you squeeze it and it shoots up into the vagina, is because a gentle flow of water is safer. So when you're pregnant, even if if you have your husband blows into your vagina, that can start a whole bad process with your blood clotting, and you can go into a heart attack, all kind of stuff. So, yeah, I've used it throughout my pregnancies, but I restricted the flow. Very, very soft, very, very, gentle. Stop and go, stop and go. So, yes, it can, but, you just have to make sure it's not shooting up, hard. The only time I don't use Happy Cat is during my monthly cycle.
Okay. And that, so in the chat room, let us know if that answers the question, or if you have any other questions. But yeah, so we really appreciate you coming on. We will actually be, for those who have been following the site and so forth, we're having our second retreat in New Orleans on the Memorial Day weekend. That is the Kayet Soul of Hoodoo and Voodoo Retreat. So we'll be dealing with Afurakani manhood, Afuraitkaitnit womanhood, the workshops based upon both of those books. I'll be conducting the workshop for Afurakani men. The Voodoo Queen Kalinda Laveau will be conducting the workshops dealing with Obaatine Afuraitkaitnit women based on the book and so forth. We'll also have joint sessions. Of course, Amma will be with us there in New Orleans as well. So when you look on our site, the Kayet Soul of Hoodoo and Voodoo page on our website, there are limited spaces. We're getting close to 50% being reserved. So if you would like to reserve your space, go to the Kayet site on our website as well as the on Facebook as well. We just wanted to talk about that. Of course, we had the retreat in South Carolina on Edisto Island a few weeks ago. It was a great event, and of course, Amma was there. She not only does she, have the medicines and the Happy Cat, the cleansing system, but Amma was also catering the event with vegan food, and it was amazing, and everybody loved the food and so forth. So she's multi-talented, multifaceted, and everything. So we really appreciate you, Amma, for coming on to the show, giving us some, legitimizing our little broadcast over here. We really appreciate that.
Oh, God. Here we go.
Everybody, go to the hoodoowomb.com website. Starve the beast, feed the pride, support the system, support the work that Amma is doing, the medicines, the cleansing system. Again, that cleansing system, $2 a day is, if you value your womb, value your health, $2 a day is nothing compared to the, what you receive in return. So on average, that's $2 a day on average. So please support the site, including .com woman Etsy site as well, but the hoodoowomb.com site. Share the information. We have one more caller. Before we go, one more caller on the phone line. Michelle, we're on the phone line number 0272. You had a question or comment?
Hetep, Kwesi, Ojira folks. Hetep Amma. This is Amma, Aminti.
Hetep, sis. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm all right.
That's good. I was just calling in to say keep up the good work. I'm just calling in to support you, and may the Nsamanfo continue to guide you and protect you, and the Abasom as well. So I'm just calling in to give you a shout out.
Oh, may I say, sis? Alma made me some weight feeds. I have not taken them all. I feel fine. Yes, I like it a lot. Yeah, that's a good talent. But I say, sis, I appreciate the support.
Yeah, no problem. I have to send you 2 more too, so when I get back up.
Girl, we both slow. I know. I'm still working on the earrings.
All right, then.
Okay.
So take care, both of y'all, and have a good night, and we'll keep the link.
You too, sis. Hetep.
Okay, heads up. What did I say?
Oh, Kwesi, I forgot. Today, 7th, is actually the last day of the sister sale.
Oh, okay. So now explain what that sale is?
Well, the sister sale, I do it like every few months to try to get more people involved in Happy Cat, and that is where you get one, and then I send another one also, which is not very financially lucrative, but it does help get the word out. So the sister sale was from February 7th to today. I just realized it was March 7th. So this is the last day. There'll probably be another one this summer around July, but anybody that orders it today, just mention sister sale in your order, and then that'll be the buy one, get one for a friend, or keep it for yourself. You got 4 months of Happy Cat. But leave a review. Okay. That's the thing. I need the review.
Yes, because those reviews are very important, because that gets people to understand and become comfortable with the reality that, and of course we should, based on the track record of the Western medicine and what people have been going through, they shouldn't be very confident with that anyway, but it gives people another level of confidence when they see a number of people, 100% of the people, having great reviews for the product. So the more and more people who review, the greater, benefit it is for the community. So that sister sale ends today, so the people listening to the broadcast, even for the people who listen to the broadcast after, listen to the archive tomorrow, if they weren't able to catch the entire broadcast, that, as Amma says, mention the sister sale in your order, and you can take advantage of that sale. So, again, Asaase Amma, we appreciate you for coming on to the show. Of course, you have an open invitation to come on at any time. Of course, we'll be connecting on a number of different projects. So, Asaase, we appreciate you.
Asaase Agyei.
Okay, that's up. And hold on 1 second. So, okay. So once again, we're going to end the broadcast here. Please, Star of the Beast Feed the Pride. Go to hoodoowomb.com. Support Amma's business. Support our health. She is like of course, a contemporary, modern day, just like Nana Kwame Afurani, George Washington Carver. She's on the same level, going out into nature, communicating with the abosom, the forces in nature who animate plant life, mineral life, and so forth, communicating with them, extracting those properties from plant life and mineral life, creating these medicines that are healing our people, children as well as adults. She's been doing this for years, of course, and then the system that she perfected over the past decade, going back to 2008 up until now, and perfecting that system of Happy Cat for the cleansing of the womb of Afuraitkaitnit women, a solid system that's having great results with regard to yeast infections and bacterial vaginosis and these various disorders, fibroid tumors, and so forth. Amma is doing the healing work. So please support the business, hoodoowomb.com. And once again, Asaase, we thank you for tuning into the broadcast. And Yebeshiabio, we will meet again. What's up?